Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Descendant, Episode 1 Aftermath. My name is Pete, and today we complete this short episodic Telltale-like game. And just as we start, we unlock the first achievement for, starting the game. And let's jump right into it, and I'll explain a bit more about the game as we go along.
Don't you take another step! You're not who I was expecting.
The other guy got reassigned. I'm Mia Howard. Check your file. HQ should have confirmed a few hours ago.
All right, hurry up.
It was 20 years ago today, scientists confirmed we could not reverse the damage done to the climate. Officials have now announced they will present
through greed and fear.
An inside source.
We destroyed our world.
Is inhuman and ruthless. Looting continues as food supplies run short. This is thought to be the direct result of government officials announcing last week that food rations would be cut.
We destroyed each other.
Today's peace talks between the three superpowers broke down and left the world wondering what immediate effects this would have. As tensions now rise to a new level never before experienced.
Only the strongest nations had a hope of surviving the war.
Tries to change the status quo. The resource war broke out 11 years.
No one was surprised when the world ended. There was only one thing that no one expected. That the world would one day start again.
Alright, short moment to breathe here. A very interesting setting that the game presents us with here. Reminds me a bit of Fallout, and this will not be the only time that happens. The game is out for about 2 weeks on Steam now. I have turned all notifications off though, and it received kind of mixed reviews. But the setting sounds intriguing, and it was very cheap, so I wanted to check it out.
Can't this thing go any faster?
From 7 billion people, only 4,000 were selected to survive the end of the world.
Yeah, that is not a lot.
Do you have to run over them?
What? It's not like they give a shit.
And somehow, this guy was one of them. Randolph Jefferson III. A senator before the bombs dropped, in case his sense of civic duty wasn't clear. Those 4,000 descendants of humanity were cryogenically preserved, hidden in underground bunkers until the surface was safe.
Did I mention Fallout already?
Centuries passed. The surface became safe. The bunkers opened, and the descendants began to rebuild. But one bunker remained sealed. Argo 1. So I volunteered to find out why.
HQ, this is Search.
Go ahead, Search Team.
We're at O1's outer gate, ready to blow it off its hinges when you are.
Roger that. On my mark. In 3, 2, 1.
And let's press E. And that's another achievement. By the way, the game has a total of 10, which apart from one will complete in this playthrough, and then for the last one I'll probably put a minute or two of extra content at the end of the video.
Admit it. This feels like you're going home, doesn't it?
Let's just get this over with. But if there was even a chance that anyone was still alive, the descendants, or the janitors watching over them, then any risk was worth taking.
HQ, this is Search. We're past the outer gate, in the descent tunnel now.
What does that, search team? And Randolph?
Yeah?
Watch yourself out there. You know what's at stake.
A two-man search team. Him, a VIP. And me, a nobody. Expendable.
And now we have our first dialogue choice in the game. We could ask Randolph to slow down or just stay quiet.
Randolph, you...
HQ. Remind Donnie, are we to take our time or get those descendants out ASAP?
Randolph? I believe it's simple. The equation you know what it's capable of. Good luck.
That good enough for you?
Well, interestingly enough, that's also what he says when we ask him to slow down.
One gate down. One to go. The only obstacle standing between us and adding another 108 of humanity's finest to our ranks.
HQ, we're at the inner gate. Please advise. HQ, do you copy? Shit. Think you can get us past this?
That's why I'm here, isn't it?
I'll see if I can get this long-range radio working. Just hurry up. Those poor bastards have waited long enough.
Alright, here we are. Now the game plays very much like a point-and-click Telltale game. The only controls we'll ever need are the left mouse button and E, and the first thing we can do here is examine the car.
Piece of junk. Trust HQ to give us something that barely works.
And that's a bit annoying that we always have to press the back button to get back, but I want to show you as much as possible, so let's check out the cave-in.
Huh. Wonder when that happened.
I don't want to criticize the game too much in the beginning here, but some of those lines add just absolutely nothing to the game. Let's check out the door, that's what we're here for.
The last line of defense against the outside world. I need to hurry up and get it open.
Well, and to do that, the vault panel seems like a good choice. And of course that's rusted shut. Alright then, let's look for something to get that open. Maybe in the toolbox. A crowbar, lovely, that looks like it should work. And this gives you a pretty good idea of how the game works. We'll find the occasional obstacle, but then also always something that helps us with it. Most of the time it's just a matter of looking around. These little challenges are really not that hard. The computer requires power. Well, of course it does. Conveniently enough for us, there is a thick black cable on the floor, which we can just follow to the right until we get to a generator, which of course is out of fuel. Well, I have an idea where we might find some. You know, we came with a car, and since it pretty much looked like we were in the middle of nowhere, it would only make sense to bring some spare fuel along. And that looks good. Yep, let's take that. And while we're at it, we can also check on Randolph.
Randolph's trying to get the radio working. Good luck with that.
Asshole. Alright, we can also examine the trailer here, so let's do that as well.
We're only here to tell everyone it's safe to leave, but still, can't help but feel unprepared.
Ah, don't worry about it. I'm an expert. So now let's get the generator working, which should activate the panel, which then should open the door. At least that's what I hope. And by the way, I would love to have an option to move a bit faster. Okay, now here we are. Let's activate the generator. That looks good. And now let's see about the vault panel. At least it looks like it's in working order.
Huh. I think I got it.
You waiting for a written invitation?
Helmets on. Until we know what's happening there, we can't take any chances.
And that is another achievement.
Finally. What the hell?
You're waiting here, Senator. We've got no idea what we're walking into there, and you're not exactly...
What? I'm not exactly what?
Okay, now we could call him a bad team player or a liability, or we could just say nothing. I don't think that either of these options is going to get us on his good side, so we'll likely be best off if we tell him he's too important.
You want to be a leader, don't you? Maybe even president. People need that, so you're not exactly expendable. But I am.
Smooth save there, Donnie.
Look, for all we know, it could be dangerous in there. Now that long-range radio worked up top, right?
Yes. Did.
So you stay put.
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Someone with far more to lose than me. Now keep your short-range radio on. If anything happens to me, you can easily get back topside and contact HQ.
Can't argue with that.
Well, at least right now, it seems like that was the right call. Now we're inside Ark 01, and what we're actually trying to do here is to find those cryogenically frozen people, because for some reason Ark 01 never opened after the war was over.
Well, it'd be a shame if we forced our way into the wrong Ark.
You're damn right about that. And don't get your hopes up too much with that elevator.
Service elevator. Must have been used for moving cargo. Might be worth checking out before we get the hell out of here.
And speaking of getting the hell out of here, this corridor is not going to provide us with any meaningful plot points. So let's just make our way towards the exit at the end.
So how long have I got to wait out here?
However long it takes to confirm the facility's safe. We were frozen for centuries. What's another hour?
Fine. Whatever gets the descendants out of here.
And the janitors.
They're not the priority.
And I honestly don't know this, but I smell at least one larger conflict between these two. For now, let's check out the safety notice.
Might as well say, abandon all hope ye who enter here.
Yeah, especially considering that last point. Be prepared for anything. That's reassuring.
After getting into the facility, it was meant to be easy. Find the Arks janitors, have them wake up the descendants, then get the hell out of Dodge. If only it was that simple.
You're lucky I didn't shoot you back there.
What with your little clipboard? You been here long?
Couple of days, getting things set up. Almost everyone who got chosen is already here.
How many descendants are allocated here?
We got 108 so far. And this facility is something else, believe me. It's gonna be one of the government's most advanced underground bunkers. You know, once they finish building it. Don't pull that face. It's a work in progress. By the time the construction team are done updating this place, it's gonna be like something from the future. Even the system monitoring this place, the equations are so advanced, it's... Shit, sorry. I totally forgot. I'm Silas, a janitor, same as you. I'm a physician, so it's my duty to keep the descendants alive and well.
I'm Mia, but you already knew that.
What about you? What's your area of expertise?
Now, there is an achievement for this choice, which I believe only unlocks if you actually choose something, and not for remaining quiet. Now, at least in episode 1, what you choose here has absolutely no impact, so let's go with general mechanics.
Me? I'm a mechanic.
I guess your job then will be looking after the Ark itself. It's a big responsibility.
Huh. Never thought I'd grow up to be a janitor.
Yeah, that makes two of us. It's okay. It's okay. We're near a fault line, so we should expect little earthquakes sometimes. This place has been built to stand up to anything and everything Mother Nature can throw at us. I assure you. Fuck! No. This is really happening now. Mia, this isn't an earthquake.
Are those explosions? All those people!
We gotta go. Now!
So you were a janitor too, right?
Yeah. I made sure folks like you stayed safe and sound. Humanity's so-called finest.
Donnie, The sacrifices you janitors made, safeguarding the next chapter of the human race. Well, I am in debt to you, and the people like you. We all are.
He had a habit of speaking like he rehearsed it.
Well, on occasion I would say the same thing about you, Donnie. And I apologize if I don't get too many lines in here. The game is heavily dialogue driven, without us having too much influence on those conversations. As you can see with my Mass Effect playthrough, I am a big fan of story, especially dialogue-driven games. However, The Descendant is quite dialogue-heavy, and I do in no way mean to discredit that. But it occasionally makes it hard to get my 2 cents in. So now by repeatedly pressing E we got that door open, so let's move on.
Where are you now?
Some access corridor. Everything's powered down.
But the Arks systems are still running, right?
Seems that way. Once I find the janitor's quarters, see if anyone's home, we'll know for sure.
Now, there is not much to do here. I feel like a few parts of this area will come into play in the later episodes. For now, we can only open this door, which leads us more or less exactly where we want to be.
Randolph, you read me?
Like an open book, pal. You find them?
Yeah, you could say that.
Alright, now keep that number of remaining descendants in mind, because I feel that is one of the essential figures in the game. And now we're again going back in time, and then actually forward again, because we're back at the storyline with Mia that plays in the past, but it's now 3 years later than it was in the first conversation. So just to keep you all on track here.
That nausea is totally normal, by the way. Once you use the anesthetic compound, the sickness should subside. In time. Okay. Gotta find out why the Ark woke us up. All the cryo-tank bays look okay. It's been... If this is right, it's been 3 years. You should check the maintenance logs on the computer. Our cryo-tanks only open when something needs to be fixed. We need to figure out what it is.
Check the maintenance logs, got it.
Okay, first area where we can really interact with a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, and this is me being nitpicky again, almost none of the things here provide us with any meaningful insights. Now let's quickly do what Silas asked us to, and then we can explore around the room a bit.
I checked on the Descendants. They seem okay. Must be something wrong with Ark.
Okay, what have we got? Code 1471 WHR.
So you know what you need to do?
Check on the water heating system. Should be straightforward.
And there should be some clean overalls in your locker.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Some fresh clothes might not be a bad idea.
Much better.
I don't know. Chunks of vomit were supposed to be very in this season.
So, I know this is all new. Is there anything you want me to explain real quick before you go?
First things first, what are we here for?
My head's still a bit fuzzy. Just so we're clear, my duties are...
Keeping the Ark running smoothly? I mean, that's both our jobs. But I'll focus on the Descendants, you focus on the Ark.
Got it.
Anything else?
Yep, where do we need to go?
How do I get to the water heating room?
Oh yeah, go through the doors to the main corridor, and the entrance is on your right. I'll direct you from there. Just keep your radio on.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
And what will you be doing in the meantime?
So, are you staying here?
Yep. The Descendants all seem fine according to the system, so I guess I can help you with your task from here. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I think I got it.
Great. Here. This key card should give you full access to the Ark. Let me know if you run into any trouble.
Got it.
Okay, now let's go in a circle around the room and basically click on anything that we can click on.
Wonder if there's anything to watch. Maybe later.
Most of Earth's population is either dead or cryogenically frozen. There won't be anything on TV.
Is this? Yes! Just like the one I had at home.
Well, good for you, I guess?
Maybe later I'll give Silas some decorating tips.
Well, we should probably fix this issue with the water heating system first.
Silas mentioned this place was still being updated by a construction team. I hope they got enough finished before...
Well, considering you're still alive, I would say they did a good job.
Huh. What do we have here?
That's a guitar, Mia. Told you, this dialogue sometimes...
Well, at least there's something to do during downtime.
Yeah, you could also play guitar, you know, that thing you just looked at?
I guess one of these is mine. Better make sure Silas doesn't have all the keys.
Mia, you just used one of those to get yourself fresh clothes. I don't exactly know how you got them open, but if they were locked, you had to use a key.
Considering he's been by himself till I got here, I would have thought this place would be a bit more tidy.
Judging from a few friends I have who live alone, I would have expected it to look exactly like this.
I'd better figure out what this is. It looks important.
It has a high voltage sign and fuses inside. What could that probably be?
How did this get here? I guess the menu's gonna be pretty basic for a while.
Well, let me get this right. Aren't you just supposed to fix this problem and then go back into the cryo-tank? Anyway, let's go into the bathroom and get a few more lines out of Mia, since she is just so entertaining.
At least it was nearby.
Yeah, true. One could say you got lucky there.
I remember when everyone thought the headlines were just scaremongering.
Well, from the earlier bits with Mia and Silas, it seems shit hit the fan pretty quickly. So yeah, bit more than scaremongering.
I've seen worse.
I will leave that without a comment. But I do like the art style they're going for. There is definitely no hiding the fact that the Descendant is modeled after Telltale games. And that is definitely not the worst role model. So now we've checked out almost everything. I actually think not just almost, we did check out everything. So let's take care of that water heating system error now. Well, this little pathway should look familiar from the earlier bit with Donnie. And so should this corridor, which is in fact the same one that we walked through a few minutes ago, or in the game, a few hundred years later. Now the water heating room is down here, marked by a big sign that says, well, exactly that.
Water heating room. Must be through here.
Well, aren't you a bright one? Well then, let's go and fix that problem.
What the hell?
What?
Oh shit. Mia, something's gone wrong. That water heating error just moved to critical.
What does that mean?
That means it must be affecting some of the descendants now. You have to hurry. Mia, this is bad. One bank of descendants. I'm getting unknown error messages.
Well then, looks like we shouldn't play around. Actually, it's incredibly hard to fail this, but on the other hand, there's also not much to explore. One thing we should do, however, is go in the back here and have a look at the ID card.
I hope the owner of this ID card isn't still down here.
That does not provide us with any substantial information, but it unlocks an achievement. And then we can go back and to the right here, and then run towards the end of the corridor. At the end we can take a left turn, and you might notice that I don't interact with anything on the way here. The simple reason for that is there is nothing to interact with. The elevator here is our exit, and also the first thing apart from the ID card that we can do something with. Inside the elevator we seem to have a tiny problem with the power.
Ah, shit.
We should obviously fix that to get the thing moving. Luckily that's not too hard. After opening the panel, we simply need to connect the wires to the corresponding spots below, which also have little wires in the same colors coming out of them below. So yeah, red goes to red and yellow goes to yellow. So now we can turn the whole thing back on.
Mia, what just happened? Some part of the system just went offline for a while.
Damn it.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. More or less. Alright, the elevator seems to have power again and we're moving downstairs. And here not much has changed from the levels above. There is still not a whole lot to interact with, so we might as well push onwards. Hot steam is blocking the way. That looks like something that can be fixed with the pipes we just passed, right? There's a valve missing. Of course there is. So let's just go back and see if we can find one. A metal disc. Well, maybe that can be used. Who could have seen that
The
coming?
problem in the water heating room must be bad. It's definitely getting hotter in here.
Ah, don't worry, we got this. Now, the canisters look promising, and well, that looks like a perfectly suitable valve. With that, we can now go back to the pipes and see if we can't fix that steam issue. So let's put that in there. And see if we can't reduce the pressure on the pipes. Now you see the pipes on the right side are numbered, and that is the order in which the valves have to be turned. And going back from the right, pipe number 1 leads to the lower valve. Pipe number 2 leads to the upper valve, and pipe number 3 therefore to the one in the middle. And just like that, the steam leak has been fixed. Lovely. Now we're safe to go through there and continue our quest to fix the water heating system. To get there, however, we need to go through another door, which uses a keycard scanner, so luckily for us, Silas already gave us one to access everything with. And just like that, we've almost reached our destination, because down the stairs and in the back right here, that is the water heater.
Guess that's it. Need to check that faulty pipe.
And to do that, we obviously need to remove the pipes in front of it first. Let's turn the entire thing off, however, and then start by removing the green pipe.
Nothing to it.
Then the yellow one, and then lastly the red one.
There. Just gotta replace this seal. The pipe itself looks okay.
So now we gotta find a new seal, which means we need to have a look around. The toolbox did serve as well as Donnie. Maybe it helps us out as Mia as well.
Crap. No seal here.
Doesn't look like it. Well, what about this plastic crate here?
Lots of odds and ends, but no seal.
Still nothing. How about the one above?
No seal in here.
Alright, what about the cardboard box around the corner here? Ah, that looks good.
This looks like it should fit the machine.
Now keep in mind to take the smaller seal, as the larger one won't fit the pipe. And with that we can now fix the water heater.
Fuck! How do I get down there?
Mia, I'm getting more and more error messages from that bank of cryo-tanks. Please work faster.
Yeah buddy, I'm on it. We just need to go downstairs real quick, because who could have guessed that the water heater might actually be hot. Now to get going here we need to climb between those two pipes. That's all quick and easy. And then about the second pair of pipes.
These pipes are too hot to get past.
Well, what might we obviously need to use to make those two pipes passable?
Okay, that's done something?
Well, Mia, yes it has. And also note that the pipes that we passed through first are now glowing red. And here's the seal we dropped, so we can take that and go back up.
Got it. Need to get back up that ladder.
And this is the part of the game that I really hated, because I wish they put a bit more effort in it. It just feels incredibly linear. The challenge that we're faced with is incredibly easy to solve, and quite frankly, all in all, it's not much more than a tedious detour. So of course we have to turn the valve one more time to cool the pipes back down that we came through. Then go through those pipes and up the ladder again. And now we can use the seal on the water heating system, replace the broken one with the new one, and then put all the pipes back in.
Just gotta put these pipes back how they were.
First the red, then the yellow, and then the green one.
Okay.
Then we can start the whole system again.
Looks like we're back in action.
And problem solved, crisis averted. And quite literally so, as we unlocked the Simmer Down achievement for averting a crisis, as well as the Fast and the Studios achievement for doing so in under 10 minutes, which quite frankly wasn't that hard.
Hey, Silas. You read me? I got the job done.
You did it? That's great. I cannot stress how important it is that we keep everything running smoothly. I'll see you back at our quarters.
Okay, Silas, who seems to have trouble pronouncing the G in words ending on ing, we'll come back to you. Before we can talk to our lovely colleague again, however, we'll quickly have to jump to Donnie.
Hello?
Oh, god damn it. You mind warning me before you shout?
Sorry, Senator.
What are you seeing?
Well, seems like we should provide him with the most relevant of the information here, which is neither the size of the room nor the situation it's in, and staying quiet also won't help. So we're seeing 2 cryo-tanks, yes.
There's 2 cryo-tanks. Both look like they're in good working order.
Why wouldn't they be?
You'd be amazed at how much can go wrong with those things.
Fair enough. You sure they're okay?
Well, we'll have to inspect them to see about that. Before we do that, let's check out the other stuff in the room though, as there are a few things that we can interact with.
Huh. We had the same book in my Ark. Must have read it 50 times.
Well, that is reassuring and shows us that Donnie should be at least somewhat familiar with the systems in this Ark.
Before I can get the security camera feeds, I'll need the janitors to power up the Ark.
If that is the case, then we should probably turn our attention to the 2 cryo-tanks, because that's where the janitors should be in.
Guess someone lost their key. Someone's tried to force this open.
And this is something we should keep in mind for episode 2. I don't know exactly if this is Mia's locker, but if it is, that could be interesting. So now that we have explored a bit, let's check out the cryo-tanks.
These aren't the make and model I'm used to, but as far as I can tell, it looks like both tanks are operational and occupied.
That's a relief.
I'll see if I can start the wake-up protocols for these 2, so we can be on our way. Crap. Randolph, you got the intel file there?
Ha! I guess it is a good job I got benched. It's right here. What do you need?
Override codes for the cryo-tanks. Model number is GC003.
GC003. Okay, give me a sec. Override code is 84886762. I repeat, 84886762.
Well, thank you, Randolph. That doesn't seem to do anything.
These cryo-tanks aren't getting enough power to start the wake-up protocols.
Can't you just bang on the tanks? Wake them up that way?
You get how cryogenic stasis works, right? Let's just say it's a bit more complicated than that. This has to be done slowly and carefully. It's okay. Should just be a case of figuring out why they're not getting all the power they need.
And speaking of power, well, if we remember the bit with Mia, we already had a look at the fuse box in the room, so I suppose that should help us out here. Ah, great. Now we need something to get that lock open with. Well, how about a fire extinguisher? Okay, apparently not. Ooh, a hammer drill. Now that looks a bit more promising now, doesn't it? Well, at least we found the right tool already. Finding a battery now shouldn't be too hard. Oh, and flashlights normally contain batteries now, don't they? Not compatible with the hammer drill. Yeah, that makes sense. But what about this one here on the shelf? That looks good. Alright, great. Now let's put that in the drill and then get the lock open and repair the fuse box. Or just turn it back on, I don't know. The hammer drill is operational, lovely. Now we can pick that up, go over to the fuse box, get the lock open and see what the problem is. Okay, seems like some of the fuses have to be turned back on. Before we can do that, let's turn the whole thing off and then flip the switches on the two leftmost fuses. The broken one is alright as it is. Then switch the whole thing back on and there we go.
Okay, these cryo-tanks should have full power now.
Now we can go back to the cryo-tanks, interact with the monitor and start the wake-up protocols.
I've got the wake-up protocol started. These janitors should be awake within 40 minutes.
As long as that?
That's the thing. That's a lot faster than I'd expect. I hope it's just a difference between these models and the ones I'm used to.
So long as it does the job. I'm coming to you. I want to be there when they wake up, and personally thank them for fulfilling their duties.
Hold that thought. We need to update HQ. You head topside with the long-range radio. I'll see if I can check on the Descendants.
Fine.
There must be something in the computer's maintenance logs that says what went wrong here.
So while both of the janitors are waking up, we can hopefully shed a bit more light on what happened a few hundred years ago, if the computer logs are able to tell us something about that.
What the hell? There must be more than 100 critical errors here. How is this Ark even operational? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is all this? These error codes, they're equations.
And nobody knows what that means, so let's go back to Mia.
Welcome back. Seems we both had a schedule. Believe it or not, we might actually have a few minutes to relax.
All things considered, that would be amazing, actually.
Check off your task on the computer, then we can kick back a bit. I think there might even be some coffee in here.
And since we already interacted with everything in this room, we can now quickly progress the story and interact with the computer.
Hey, everything okay? Has something else gone wrong?
Now here's an interesting decision. Normally it would make sense to tell Silas there's a problem, right? The Descendant, however, rewards us for lying, in the form of an achievement.
Everything's just fine.
Oh shit. Mia, what do we do?
Okay. If I'm reading this right, then the error is AFT 0002. AFT is the air filtration tower, and 0002 is a complete system failure.
Holy shit. Remind me not to ask these guys for decoration tips.
So once again, I don't think it's a good idea to go full confrontational here, so let's just stick to the something very bad happened option.
Things are worse here than we thought. Something very bad happened. Oh no, no!
I thought you said you had to defrost them safe and slow. What the fuck? What? Why are they opening now?
I don't know!
The Ark's powered down. How are they going to breathe? Donnie, what do we do?
Well, it might be a good idea to stop the tanks from opening, especially considering the fact that the alternative would be to just say I don't know.
The tanks! They can breathe in the cryo-tanks. We have to stop them from opening.
What?
You got any better ideas?
So now we'll have to rapidly press E to slowly close the tank again.
Is it closing?
Shit! Stay on this one! Don't let it open!
And one more time on this one.
Donnie, they're empty.
But how? And where the hell are the janitors? The funny thing is, that wasn't even the worst of it. No one could know just how messed up things would get. Well, no one who was expendable, at least.
And with that, we completed the gameplay part of episode 1. Lots of open questions, a final cutscene is still to come, and after that we'll quickly grab the last achievement.
You think this is a game, Donnie? You think we've got the kind of population figures that makes any of this okay? We already know the filtration tower failed, goddammit. We already know that Janitor's cryo-tanks were empty. Donnie, what we need to know right fucking now is how those descendants ended up dead!
I was just getting to that.
Alright, very intriguing end to the storyline here. I am really excited to see where this game is going with episode 2 and beyond. Now, this final scene right here reminds me a bit of the end to Portal. There won't be any singing though. But it reveals something very interesting. And that is right here, where it shows that the critical power levels were caused by a manual bypass of the elevator, and that was something we did with Mia. And as a result of that, the system has now calculated a resolution which is to terminate one cryo-tank, so effectively to kill one of the Arks inhabitants. So as we see the population go down from 108 to 107, episode 1 now comes to an end. However, we are not finished quite yet. There is one last achievement to unlock, which we get for failing to avert a crisis. To do that, we'll go right back into the game and to the point where Mia is heading towards the water heating system.
Mia, this is bad. One bank of descendants. I'm getting unknown error messages.
And now we'll just stand here and wait. I will fast forward the entire thing, because we don't actually need to do anything else than to just stand around. After a certain point, around 20 minutes, the crisis automatically triggers, and if we haven't fixed the water heater by then, we fail this little challenge. So, while Mia is standing around, I would like to take this opportunity and talk a bit about what I think of the Descendant. First of all, the setting. I said in the beginning it reminds me a bit of Fallout, and there's absolutely no problem with that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you create a setting. However, that is, in my opinion, as long as you put an interesting spin on it.
The problem in the water heating room must be bad. It's definitely getting hotter in here.
And for now, I can't really judge the Descendant on that end, because we know just so little about the storyline so far. I am very interested in what the developers have in mind for the next 4 parts, because the first part definitely left me wanting more, however, at the same time with the urgent desire to change a couple of things. I talked about the voice acting and the dialogue already, which just feels a bit empty at times, and so does the environment as well. For a game that tries to imitate what Telltale is doing, and again there is no shame in doing so, but the lack of interactivity really got to me. The game feels way too linear, which is not necessarily helped by the fact that the challenges we're facing are incredibly easy to solve.
Mia, I'm getting more and more error messages from that bank of cryo-tanks. Please work faster.
So I would hope for the next parts to be more fleshed out and to make the game feel deeper than it is right now. Which brings me to my last point, and that is the choice to release The Descendant in 5 separate episodes. Now, episodic content, if done right, can definitely create hype and leave fans wanting more. However, the majority of that success depends on your first episode. And sadly, this is where I think the developers of The Descendant didn't do a well enough job. For a game that seems to be largely depending on choice and consequence, the amount of choices that we get is alright, but the immediate consequences of those choices are nowhere to be seen.
Shit, it's getting too hot in here. Gotta fix whatever's gone wrong fast.
Now, I am fairly certain these choices will matter in the long run. Nevertheless, it would have been nice to have at least one of the decisions we made have an effect on how this episode plays out. Unfortunately, that is not the case. The only change to the ending that we just saw happens if we actually fail to repair the water heating system, which, like I already said, is pretty damn hard in itself because the time limit is just huge. So where does this leave the Descendant after episode 1 is complete? At least from my part, I'm still looking forward to what they might pull off in the next chapters. The story seems intriguing, despite some very obvious flaws in the gameplay.
Mia, what's taking so long? Now some of the cryo-tanks are going offline. Hurry up!
I'm going as fast as I can. It's turning into a goddamn furnace down here.
One of the advantages that this episodic system has is that exactly these flaws can now be ironed out before releasing another episode. If you read the Steam reviews for this game, most of the points I just criticized can be found there as well, so I definitely think there is no shortage of feedback. So all in all, I think if the developers take their time and listen to what the people who've played this game already say, this can still be a very, very good series. For now, I can't consider episode 1 as more than a tutorial, which again might not be the best base to sell future episodes on. I will very likely play the second part no matter what, just to see if the core problems that the game is currently suffering from have been fixed, and then I'll decide whether or not I will power through the entire series.
So goddamn hot. I can barely breathe. Come on, Mia. Come on.
And basically, yeah, that's all I can say about the game at this point. I don't want to make this longer than it absolutely needs to be, so let me just skip ahead to the next bit of dialogue.
God damn it, Mia! I'm not getting any reading from those cryo-tanks at all! Hurry the fuck up before they all die!
I'm about to fucking die. I'm trying, okay? It's hotter than hell down here. So shut the fuck up and let me concentrate.
And we are now over 15 minutes into the challenge, which just goes to show you again how hard it is to fail this. Even when I played this blind for the first time, I took about 10-12 minutes, and now in this video, even with looking at everything, we solved the problem in around 7 minutes. So let's just skip forward one more time. For some reason, close to the end, the camera started to jump around, so I decided to move her a bit. And then just as we reached the lower part of the ramp here, we finally failed the mission.
I can't do it. It's so hot. I can't breathe. I gotta get out.
Mia! What the fuck happened? Those cryo-tanks are all offline now! This system isn't trying to revive them! Mia! That whole bank is gone!
So after roughly 20 minutes of standing around and not repairing the water heating system, the hostile work environment achievement unlocks. This is followed by a couple lines of dialogue between Mia and Silas, and like I said, the game will also end a bit differently, because a few more people die.
Mia? You there? Did you fix it?
I couldn't get it done. Silas, I'm sorry.
What? Do you have any idea what you've done? You probably just killed some descendants.
I thought I would be faster. I'm so sorry.
Just head back to our quarters.
And after this, the game continues mostly as normal. Before heading back to Silas, the game switches us to Donnie. There everything plays out the same. And then after switching back to Mia, Silas is of course a bit more pissed at us. And then in the final scene of the game, we see that the system had to terminate a few more people. So yeah, that's it. That was The Descendant, episode 1 Aftermath. Let's make a cut here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.